There's a place off Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you. We were both 16 and it felt so right. Sleeping all day, staying up all
Nah,
night. Dude, fun fact, Yellowcard is actually from Jacksonville.
really?
Yeah. So, and then the next verse. So, over here in Jack's Beach, we have Ocean Ave, and then on the next verse, he talks about there's a place on the corner of Cherry Street. So, literally, we're over here in Jack's Beach as well too. But yeah,
Dude, I would have put a lot of money to say they were from California.
yeah, right. Like SoCal, big surf energy, big surf vibe. But no, they're Jacksonville finest.
Holy cow. Yo, shout outs to Yellowcard. They had some bangers, man.
Yeah.
Ocean Avenue, Only One. What else was there?
Those are the two main ones that I knew, but I actually didn't even know they were from Jacksonville until I moved here. And then someone was telling me like, "Oh yeah, like the song Ocean Avenue, it's literally talking about like the street over here in Jack's Beach, right?"
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, "No way."
Dude, how is life? What have you been up to since last Friday?
Oh man, we still grinding, man. Still grinding. Still in the process of going through interviews and sourcing for SDRs. But that's about it, man. That we ended up increasing our prices. I know that's a topic that we're going to be chatting about today. No smooth transition on this episode, guys. Sorry. We raised prices. That was dope. And nobody blinked an eye. But yeah, those are kind of the two big updates from last week. But yeah, got a solid long run in this weekend. Yeah, I'm building. I'm about to crush my race in December.
Oh man, I've been fucking declining, brother. I've lost 5 pounds since we chatted last Friday. Shitting my fucking brains out. Montezuma's revenge. On the group chat with the boys and like, yo, how's everyone feeling? Everyone's like, yo, I'm
Same way.
bedridden, only eating kanji and trying to get electrolytes. I was eating, the fried dough with the kanji,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Yeah, the fried cruller.
fried cruller with the kanji. That
Yeah,
shit hits, bro.
so good.
And I just had like soy sauce chicken. Oh man, shout outs to Christy. Just fucking feeding me electrolytes, cutting me apples and shit. I was fucking dying.
Dude, have you ever had like soy milk? Like either savory soy milk or like sweet soy milk?
I've done the cruller with the sweet soy milk cold.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, that hits
Yeah,
different,
that's
dude.
exactly what I was thinking
I've never
about
had
when you mentioned
savory
that.
soy milk though.
Yeah, savory's pretty good too. It's a little bit of a different vibe for sure, but dude, the sweet soy milk, I could drink that shit all day. It's
I
so
love
good.
that stuff. Yeah, my mom used to make it fresh at home. So freaking good.
Yeah. Dude, I'm actually cool news about Jacksonville. There's a Asian supermarket
Yo, this
down
is
here.
you.
Yeah, it's coming here, but so it's not as legit as H Mart, right? Not as
Yeah.
legit as H Mart, but it's called Lotte Market. So Lotte Market, I know they have one down in Orlando. I actually used to drive all the way down there to Orlando to pick up some Asian groceries and stuff. But they got one coming up to Jack's that should be opening up sometime in the fall in October. So I'm super pumped about that. I'm hoping that they have some like fried cooler and soy milk though in their food court. If they do, that'd be so legit.
Oh man, I'm in a different phase of my life now. Just after this hump, I'm gonna be all about this gut health and just trying to get my shit right. Dude, I feel like the amount I've done the number three, which is like 1+2, peeing. I'm like, I've just been depleted, dude. Like I feel like this gut biome doesn't exist. Like I need like I'm gonna start munching on fucking sauerkraut more often. I need like fermented foods, fucking green leafy vegetables. I'm already gonna buy like raw cocoa nibs. I'm like, I just gotta get this fucking tempo in order.
Bro, you know what would be a good experiment is if you do that, get your gut health in check for like a year, and then next year go back down to Mexico, run it back, and then see how you do the second bout. See if like your body's able to hold up even better.
So there's one person in our group that didn't get sick at all, Shane. And we were talking about getting our blood work and stuff done. He's like, yeah, I use this company, Function Health, and he's like, my biological age is 22 years old. I was like, damn, brother, like that is solid. He's perfectly fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, you're not sick. He goes, I think the chicken soup at the buffet the last day really helped me. I was like,
The chicken soup. That is actually something that you should do though. There's a spot down here in Jax that I went and did it a couple months ago, but you'll do like a DEXA scan. It'll track your VO2 max and then also kind of do like a test for your resting metabolic rate. And then all the way at the end, it'll give you your biological age. But it's a pretty cool, just like gives you a bunch of data and stuff, give you body fat percentage or all those things. If you haven't done one yet.
How old are you biologically?
19. Can't go to the bars yet.
19.
19, bro. Yeah.
Dude, I was listening. You listen to My First Million, right?
Yeah.
When I send you an episode every now and then, Sean, he goes, "I'm the only person that's ever taken this, and I'm older than I actually am."
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
He goes, "Everyone on Twitter is fucking posting the fact that they're 10 to 15 years younger. I'm the only person that's 10 years older." I was like, damn.
I have a buddy here. His mom is, I think she's like 67. But she goes to track with us on Wednesdays. Bro, she's like so fit. She went and got that done a couple months ago. Her biological age is like 25.
What?
Yeah, and she's like 67. Yeah, she's like, and she only started getting into running probably about 20 years ago. But yeah, super fit. She looks like she's probably like late 30s.
Wow.
But she's 67. Yeah.
What does she say about herself? Like, does she say like, "Wow, I legitimately feel like I'm very young. Like, I don't feel like 67."
Yeah, I mean, she runs probably like 25 miles a week. She bikes a ton, and then she also just like does strength training probably about 2-3 days a week, and she eats like really healthy. But it's crazy because he was telling me, he was like, yeah, like his mom didn't really even get that much into fitness like until she was like 40 something years old, so pretty much 20 something years ago.
Yeah.
Then now she looks better at 67 than she did when she first started working out at 40. But yeah, biological age is 25 at 67 years old. It's crazy.
I'm 31 years old. I legitimately think I'm probably 31 years old. Like, I don't think I might potentially be a little bit younger, but I'd be shocked if I was. But we'll see. I'm gonna dial shit in for the next couple of months, and I'm gonna run back my blood tests.
Hell yeah,
dude! I was pre-diabetic. My A1C was high, like borderline high, and then my liver enzymes. But it's all like the Asian fatty liver. I think like 40% of the Asian population have like fatty liver disease or some shit. I don't know. But I was like, no excuse. Gotta fucking take agency.
Yeah, bro. Don't blame it on genetics, man. Let's bring out Andy 3.0 with the gut recheck.
I was talking to my friends because when we got to Mexico, they were like, "Oh, bro, it's all good. This shit happens." Now he's like, "If you take a blood test, it's not like you're gonna do anything about it, right?" I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean?" I'm like, "Of course I'm gonna do something about it." Like,
of course. Like that. I mean, data is useless if you don't change anything.
Yeah. But man, let's talk.
All right, I got a good transition. I
was trying to figure out.
I got you, bro. All right.
You got it.
Speaking of leveling up our gut health and just our overall health, it's time to level up y'all's prices.
There you go.
Bang bang. But yeah, pricing. Let's talk a little bit about pricing. I think pricing is like, I mean, whenever people join our program, that's like one of the very first things that we like help them tweak and change. Whether it's really just kind of their initial, evaluation, or most importantly, it's really kind of the first like package or the plan of care that they're selling to their clients. A lot of times, like if your LTV of the client is only around $1,200, but if you literally just double it to like $2,500 for the plan of care, then your LTV for the client literally doubles. And that's why I think like so many people, when they initially come into our program, we're able to help them like make significant like PR gains literally within the first 30 days without really touching too much on their, lead gen or sales or anything like that. It's really just like fixing pricing and offers. And I think a lot of times people get in their own heads with really their own like self-confidence and conviction, like, oh dude, like, am I worth 3K? Am I worth like 4K? Whatever it is, right? But yeah, pricing is just something that, I know when I first started, and you could probably, let's chat a little bit about like when we first started, right? Like, when I first started, I was charging like 150 per session. Doing session by session, right? No plans of care, no packages, no nothing, just 150. And I was like fucking terrified, dude. I was like sitting right across the chat. I was like, oh, all right, I'm gonna ask this guy for 150. Like, I hope he says yes. But it's funny, yeah. Looking back on kind of where we were at, and then yeah, we recently bumped up our plan of cares. Minimum plan of care now is around 2,900. So yeah, we're really looking to kind of capitalize our LTV for our clients to around like 3K, just so we can, yeah, just like have obviously more profitability, but then when you have much more cash flow to play with, you can make better informed decisions, whether it's, putting more into ads, paying for like a better employee when it comes to your SDRs, front desk, or even like your PTs, right? um you know, I think a lot of times PTs are always asking about benefits, right? So like 401k, health insurance, all these different things. And it's like, well, great. Like, if we want to be able to provide all these things for our staff, like, where's that money going to come from? It's got to come from, from the clients we see. So I think that's one of the main things that people just don't understand. So like, especially as you grow a team, like you got to charge high enough. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to pay them shit.
Yeah. Oh man. Um, well, first, everything you said, I totally agree with, right? Like sometimes like we'll chat with someone, it's like, yeah, I'm charging like 125 per session. And I'm like, awesome. So when you pay rent, which is like, maybe you're paying per session, it's like 20 bucks, you're at 105. Then you pay your taxes, it's another 20%. Then you have miscellaneous subscription, like, things that you have to pay for to actually do it. And then, you get down to like 70 to 80 bucks. And again, in order for you to actually fulfill in that session, you're doing a ton of marketing and doing other things. So you're working even more hours than you normally would. So your hour per, work is significantly lower than it would be if you just work for somebody else. So that's why you really have to increase your prices. And, your operating expenses like that is fairly low when you're getting started. But as you start to scale, it's like, for us, like we spend a lot of money, right? Like we have
Oh yeah.
ad spend in the beginning of we have ad spend. We have someone that we pay for PR. We've outsourced like SEO. We have we have miscellaneous software things that we have paid for. We pay for benefits for our team. Like there's equipment, there's miscellaneous like bills for the clinic. So it's like things start to add up. So like
Mhm.
at some point you have to realize you charging so little is only just shooting yourself in the foot. You're only trying to survive right now instead of thinking of what it looks like long term. But I did the same thing. I started at 150. I think I did that for about a few weeks. I jumped to 200. Did that for a few weeks, and I did like a 250, 225, 199, like, session, 6 sessions, 10 sessions, and then 20 sessions was at 175. And then, kind of where we're at now is 300 for the first session and 250 for follow-ups. And we're probably going to be changing that to 350 to 275 soon.
Yeah. I think a lot of times too, like especially as we're getting in, especially if your people are coming in from like insurance, they're like, man, like how can I charge someone this much? Like this isn't ethical or this isn't fair. But here's the thing, it's like if you want to be able to serve more people, like you have to build out a team. And the only way you can build out a team is if you have enough cash flow. I think like if you want to be like a solo provider, then yeah, you can stay at charging like 150 or 125, 135, and that's totally fine. I think there's plenty of like solo providers here where I'm at in Jacksonville and they're charging like 125, 150. It's totally fine. But they're a solo provider in across the gym and they don't really have plans on growing outside of that. And that's totally cool. Right. But I think there's also too something to be said about like perception of value, right? Where it's consumer or lead is coming in, and maybe they are shopping for maybe like the cheapest, and that's totally okay. But it's like, hey, if they look at a clinic and they're charging like, hey, like 300 for the initial eval, or maybe like another clinic that's maybe charging 120, even if it's the same thing, but there's got to be something to be said about, hey, like perhaps maybe like what is different about this clinic that's charging 300, right, versus like 150. And so you can kind of like portray enough value in what you do, then again you can charge like really whatever it is that you want to charge.
Yeah. And it's all just like a numbers game. I've been taking a deep dive into websites. So like one of the biggest things that they talk about is like AOV, right? Which is like average order value.
Yeah.
So like when someone kind of audits like someone's e-commerce website, it's like the first thing they try to do is increase like the average order value.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your ad, average order value is 20 bucks and then, you change it up and you create a package that's worth 100. Well, every single time someone, converts on your ad, you have a higher spend that you can create, right? Essentially to break a profit. And I think when you think about it through that lens, it's like even before like average order value, lifetime value, and things like that. Let's just go back to like the absolute basics. Like you're trying to, let's say you're just starting off, you're at an insurance clinic and you want to build to 10K per month. If a 10 session, if you're doing 125 per session and you sell that as a 10 session package, that's 1,250. That's going to require you to sell 8 packages in a month. If you double your rates and you charge, let's say, $250 per session, and your 10 session package is 2,500, you only need to convert on 4 people, right? And I think that seems way more digestible. Now, if you become a true freaking savage, right? Like, let's say, like you just needed, you did 330 per session. Then you would just need 3 packages per month in order to, make 10K per month. And I think as you start to look at it that way, it's probably easier for you to find 4 people than it is for you to find 8 people, right?
Sure.
8 people that are paid 125 per session is gonna be a lot harder than finding 4 of the right people that would pay 250 per session.
Yeah. I think that's the power of like selling plans of care or packages or programs versus doing just session by session, right? Like let's do the math, especially if we're talking about someone who's brand new, who's trying to hit like their 10K per month. At 125 single sessions, you need to see 80 of those in order to hit 10K. Whereas if we're just basing it just off of like total evaluations that convert onto like a plan of care, right, or a program, it's exactly what you said. You literally just need 3 of those at 2,500, or sorry, 4 of those at 2,500, and there's your 10K. And so it's like people are already prepaying for that ahead of time, and then now you just have to fulfill. But a lot of times, like when you can have your offers dialed in, you can grow very, very quickly. Like I think we just had somebody in our program like hit like 49K per month as a solar provider.
Yeah,
And it's like it's fucking wild.
you
There's like
definitely have
ain't no way you're gonna be able to hit that shit like selling just single visit by visit.
that's definitely a fucking record,
Yeah.
without a doubt, because I've never heard someone as a solo provider clear that much. Which when I saw the number, I was like, "What in the world?" Like, holy cow! But now that's maybe for somebody that's just starting up. It's like now for someone that's like scaling their practice, right? As you start to implement ads and everything else, like lifetime value of a customer, like for us, it's about 2,500 lifetime value. If we increase our rates, like that allows us to fight for better keywords in Google ads. It allows us to spend more on like meta ads and stuff like that. So I think there's just so many benefits for increasing price. Is there a strategy that you utilize, Peter, for, let's say, is there a typical strategy that you utilize for pricing, like time of the year or things like that?
Not really. I think one of the things that I think like really helps me understand it's really okay to increase price is the fact that if you think about it, somebody who's going to pay like 1,500 for a planning care is probably going to pay 2K. Someone's going to pay 2K for a planning care. They're probably going to pay 2,500. Someone's already paying 2,500 for a planning care. They'll probably pay 2,900. And so I think like it's just like over the years we've just kind of slowly increased it higher and higher and higher, and our like average close rate kind of stays really about the same. And so I think like as long as your close rate doesn't like shoot down to like 30% or 40%, like I think you're totally fine. Now I think like for some of you guys who are just purely off of word of mouth and like very warm leads, there's 100% no reason why you shouldn't be increasing your rates, especially like those of you guys are bragging like, yo, like my close rate's around 90%. That's great. Increase your fucking prices. Your prices are probably way too low. It's like, you're not like, yeah, you're a good clinician, but everyone's coming in that's super warm, right? They're already going to pay you at like 1,200. You might as well increase it up to like 19 or sorry, like 2,900 and kind of see what it says. Right. So I think that's definitely just like, I don't know. I think over the years, I've just kind of slowly understood, like, hey, people who already bought in, they understand, like, and they realize, like, the outcome that we're able to get them. Like, we could probably charge, like, whatever it is. I'm honestly like, man, dude, if I was doing like all the evals in my clinic, I would probably like try and like see if I can just charge 5K and like see what my close rate is at. And I probably would like I wouldn't be surprised if our close rate still hovers around maybe like 50%. Maybe it'll go down a little bit, but like we basically would almost add on 2K to our average like LTV of a client. Because like
Yeah,
if you think about it, if like, hey, like someone's got chronic low back pain, chronic shoulder pain, and you get them to shift away from like kind of maybe like a session by session and just like think of it more as like an outcome based. It's like, hey, how much will you pay to get back to doing this one thing that you love and enjoy so bad that you haven't been able to do for so long? you kind of shift them towards that results based thinking, then yeah, I think you can charge whatever and people will pay for it as long as they believe in the value of the product and they believe that, hey, you're the person to help get them there.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, one of the biggest mistakes I made was like not being super fluid with like the pricing, right? Like literally just agile. It's like your pricing could, if you're just getting started, your pricing can literally change every single week,
Yeah.
every single day if you wanted to, because it's just you. It gets a little bit more complicating when you have a team, but as long as your team understands why, like you still probably change it every quarter, every 6 months if you wanted to. But it is like funny because I remember in the beginning, it was just like, all right, we're gonna change it next week. Oh, sure, like let's do it, and like nothing else
People,
changed.
yeah, and like
We're
people
fine.
still buy. Cool. Let's continue stair step it up. I think like Hormozy's got this like good philosophy where it's like you want to continue increasing your close rate until you drop down to like 35% close rate. And he's like, you might think a 35% close rate is so bad, but when you have such a large like pricing that people will basically buy, you're basically able to serve like a much higher quality customer versus like if you were to have a very high close rate, but with like so many different customers that you're like rushing to kind of help all serve.
Yeah, there's there's a certain thing that happens when people pay a shit ton of money for certain things, right? Like we see it all the time. If what we offered was like free, essentially no one in the program would actually get the results that they were looking for because you just don't take it as serious. So when people pay a little bit more money for your service, like you're never gonna have to ask them whether or not they did their home exercise program. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're gonna be fucking dialed the hell in. Um, I think one thing that I really like about raising prices is like it gives you a unique opportunity again to market to everyone that is already in your ecosystem. So before we raised our prices to 300 and 250, we're just like, hey, just letting you guys know, everything has gotten more expensive and running a business is becoming more expensive and we're growing our team and our prices will be increasing at this time. Now, you guys have been super loyal to us and we want to make sure that, you felt like we had your best interest at heart. We'll be honoring your price if you want to pay for packages ahead of time for the start of the new year, right? Or like for the start of next month, etc. Whatever it is that you end up doing. But all that does is like you can now collect a bunch of cash up front from people because they're gonna be like, oh man, they're gonna be changed again. It's gonna be negligible in nature, right? Like they might be saving like 200, 300 something bucks, but there's just some people that just they want that thing, and when you give them an opportunity to like you can easily close a couple of packages just with something as simple as that while increasing your rates.
Yeah, for sure. How are you guys pricing your evaluations?
So what do you mean by that?
Just like, hey, are we doing like discounted evals? Are you doing full price evals? Just because like my practice has kind of shifted over the years, but like I think are you guys still doing like full price evals?
We're pretty much doing full price evals. There's a
Yeah.
select few people that will offer a discounted eval rate, and that kind of varies depending on the person. But for the most part, it's always full price evals. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think it's actually really interesting to know because like you're up in New York City, and I've chatted with you about this a couple times before, where it's like people up in New York, they almost like want to pay the premium, right? And it's like
Dude,
they don't
we've
want no
done
fucking discount.
we've done the discounted eval. It brought in the worst leads. Like it was terrible.
Yeah. I think you kind of have like, yeah, it might be like location dependent. For us, we've actually gone the exact opposite, and I'll kind of let you know like my kind of train on thought about this. So we actually do intentionally do like a lower barrier offer, especially for like on all of our ads. And then people calling in, we'll just say, hey, like our new client special is 50% off, so it's just going to be 170 instead of like the usual 340. But we intentionally want to kind of like decrease the like barrier and friction for somebody to come in because it's like hard to be able to like convey so much value in like a 10 to 15 minute like discovery call. So like we would rather like get them in and decrease friction of them coming in by lowering the price. But then from there, once they get in, like I know like my therapist and staff can portray like so much value on the initial evaluation. Now we can actually have a chance of like swinging a home run with like a 2,500 3K plan of care.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times, like one of the things that I miss that at least down here in Jacksonville that we did initially was we would charge everyone like full price, full price, full price, and it would work for kind of like your word of mouth, or people that are kind of warm and like yeah, like I'll pay the 250, 275, 300, whatever it is, it's totally fine. But then yeah, once we kind of start getting into like colder traffic, these people don't know you enough. They just like aren't as nurtured enough. So we're like, cool, like let's go ahead, let's decrease barrier of entry, like get them in at like the $69. And then from there, like close rate for like colder traffic is definitely going to be lower, but that's why you need a dialed in sales process. But here's the cool thing is like when you have your price like and packaging set up so high, you can basically offset like the lower conversion percentages and still net like a positive 3 to 4x return on ad spend for all your evals that you bring in from ads. So like I think yeah, for us especially like as we like lean a lot into paid advertising, like that's definitely kind of the route that we've gone. But I think it's just yeah, you'll probably need to experiment around with a lot of like what does your like local market kind of speak and talk, and what is it going to look like. Because I know yeah, like demographic down here in Jacksonville way different than people up there in New York, right? And I think like the cool thing too is like you can always like test out like whatever your intro offer is, whether it's like, hey, $50, cool, people are buying at $50, converting really well, cool, let's stair step it up a little bit into like $99. But I definitely think like the initial evaluation should be paid. Cool thing too is like, especially when you are running paid ads, you can almost kind of like self liquidate some of your ad spend with your paid evaluations. All right, so it's like people will pay like kind of like a lower ticket coming in, and even if they don't convert, cool, we can basically take that money and like basically offset whatever you put into ads, to kind of like help clear that balance out a little bit.
Yeah, it's all of like the pricing. This is why I really love like learning outside of the physical therapy industry, especially when it comes to business. If you guys you know what Ridge is, the wallet?
Yeah, yeah, the one where you can kind of just like tick the button and it'll like shoot out like a couple of different
Yeah, it's like the guy. He's a CMO. Yeah, he's a CMO. He runs a podcast with another guy that is like high in marketing from like Hexclad, like the pan. And
yeah.
then the third guy that they partner with is like for this podcast. I gotta, once I get the episode, I'll send it over to you. It was a funny listen. But during their discussion, they were interviewing this fourth guy. And the fourth guy was like, he exited his agency a while ago, and now he creates a bunch of like website optimization software. And the guy's like, whenever I come in and we are looking at stuff, we don't even make huge adjustments to a business. We split test. We do 10% less than a normal price, 10% more than a normal price, and we'll do 50% more.
Mm.
And then we just see like which one sells the most. And he's like, it's always so funny when 50% more does less. And I was just like, that's insane. And this is coming from someone that owns an agency who
Yeah.
has worked with companies that have scaled to billions of dollars, and I just find that super fascinating.
Yeah, and it's like I know plenty of cash practices. They'll run meta ads, and their meta ad like offer is like 199 or 150 for like a like a intro offer for their evaluation. And so I think yeah, it's like it's definitely doable. But like you guys, yeah, just have to like continue to like test and tease out like hey, like what's gonna be kind of like working to be able to make sure hey you get evals in onto your schedule. Like and then on the exact opposite side, like I have a buddy, they just opened up a clinic up in like Charlotte, North Carolina. And when they first opened up, I think their first 90 days, they basically just ran free evaluations. And I was like, I don't know if I would necessarily go to the extent of that, right? Because again, you still have to pay the therapist, right? Like whatever you're paying the therapist, like you're already at like a minus whatever, right? And then that plus you layer on ads as well too. It's like it can get pretty hefty. But he was like, yeah, like they ran free evaluations for the first 90 days and like was able to like fill up like the therapist's schedule in a new location by like doing that. So it's like I think yeah, there's like multiple ways you can go about doing it. But yeah, you gotta test it out. And then I would say like yeah, just test it out and don't be so close minded just to kind of one single approach, honestly.
Yeah, the just to give you guys some data, that guy's agency has sold over $5 billion worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like the guy obviously knows what the hell he's doing. But yeah, like we're not going to speak from an ivory tower, right? Like I'm not going to tell you that I don't get a little bit nervous whenever I'm raising prices. Like I think it happens to everyone. It's a natural human inclination.
Hmm.
But I think the best thing you can do is like put it down on paper and like, does it logically make sense to just keep myself at these rates?
Yeah.
I forgot who said it, but the best quote I heard about it's like the for sure way to go out of business is to never raise your prices.
Yeah.
Like if you want to go out of business, you just never raise your prices.
Yeah. I think one of the things that also helped with like some of the limiting beliefs that I had was really just the amount of like proof and like testimonials that we've gotten from clients, right? So if you think about it, like when you're first starting out, like man, I haven't really like treated that many clients in a cash signing before. Like, is this really going to be worth it, right? But then here we are, like 4 or 5 years in later. It's like we have so much social proof, so many like clients where we've been able to change their lives. I think I dropped this in the Wins channel yesterday, but like our Jax location just passed 450 5-star Google reviews. I was like, dude, like there's so many lives that we changed. Like we 100% can sell with like so much conviction, or at least for me, right? Because I've been around the longest, I can sell with like so much conviction that, hey, like I'm okay selling 3K for a plan of care or 4K, whatever it is, right? Because I know the outcome that we're able to get all of these clients and whatnot. So I think that's definitely something that newer clinicians, and I say newer by newer into the cash PT realm, if they haven't necessarily like gotten that much like results yet, it may be a little bit harder for them to be able to like feel like, hey, like, yeah, I should be able to charge this much because of all these results that I am able to get, these clients. So I think that's also something to be said as well too. Is just like the more proof that you see, the more like confident you are in your product, the more confident you are in your product, the more you can, charge and increase your rates.
Yeah. The other fun thing that you could potentially do, right? It's like throughout a plan of care, you obviously get super close with your patients, and if you're the owner, you can always ask your patients like from an unbiased perspective, right? Like now that you've experienced what you've experienced with our team, do you feel like the money was worth it? What would you pay, right?
Yeah.
If knowing what you know now. And you might be shocked that some people would be like, I think it's under our price. Like I've had that happen to us from a couple of patients where it's like, you guys are underpriced. Like the quality of the work, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
This happens all the time, and it feels even better when it happens without you even telling them.
For
Have you gotten
sure.
that before?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and I'm just like, man, like, yeah, thank you for the reminder. We should probably raise our prices. Um, and also too, here's something to consider and think about, guys. Like the alternative, what they're like the alternative for what they could potentially be getting as a solution for their issue is like 10 times more expensive. Like surgery, I think I've talked about this a couple times. It's like anywhere between 10K to 15K. Right? Injections also like super expensive as well too. So you might as well like charge something that's expensive that's also going to get them results as well. I was interviewing like an SDR the other day, and she was working in a functional med doc office, and it's a chiropractor who's also turned into a functional med. And I think this is one of the kudos I'll give to a chiropractor, dude. They don't give a shit, man. They have so much conviction in the shit they sell, bro. Like, and the functional med doc he sells, I guess like it's really kind of just like longevity, health and wellness, where he helps people that are a little bit older, like help them out with their weight loss. And she was saying like, hey, their average like ticket for the plan and care ranges anywhere between 5K to 12K for like fucking weight loss for people that are like obese and looking to make like lifestyle holistic changes. I'm like, hell yeah, like good for them. And again, like super successful. Obviously, people are willing to pay and whatever, like finance that if they need to, right? So that's every time I hear something like that, I'm like, man, like good for them. Also for us, that just means we need to be able to like increase our rates as well too, because I'm pretty sure the value of what we provide is just as much as that. Right? Then I also had like an eval. This was maybe like 3 months ago. Came in shoulder pain. So like try to pitch him a plan of care. He was like, man, like if I saw you guys before, like I probably would have like went forward. But turns out, literally like 3 hours before, he went to a chiropractor, did a shockwave intro offer, and then bought like a shockwave package. I was like 10 visit package of shockwave for 3K. And he's like, dude, I already like committed into this. I same thing. I just paid out of pocket for this. Like, I got to see this through first before I like jump in with you guys. I was like, Yeah, like, yeah, bro. Like, I don't blame you, man. Like, you just dropped 3K on something that you believe is gonna help you out with. Like, I know, like, you know that you also need this as well too. But it's just like, dude, like, people are out there selling Shockwave for 3K. Like, we can 100% sell like physical therapy for 3K. Like, what are we thinking?
Oh man. And the thing with like something like Shockwave, you can't even take that with you afterwards, right? Like the things that you learn in physical therapy are skills that you can take with you for the rest of your life. The patient education, the technique, the form, understanding programming, lifestyle factors, all of those things, like you can teach so much within a plan of care. You have to realize that like when someone's paying for 3K, it's not just for a couple of months, it's things that they can utilize for the rest of their life. And I always position it that way. Like if you were to train, don't you want every single rep to be as efficient as possible? Perfect. That's what physical therapy would do for you. You know what I mean? Like if how many times are you going to deadlift for the rest of your life? Thousands and thousands of times. Well, what if you've been deadlifting wrong relative to, what you've been told, or like your body and your anthropometrics? Like we can help you with all of those things. So Shockwave one is crazy though.
Yeah, and I think this is also something too that I've heard that resonates a lot with me is the fact that it's because we don't necessarily value our skill set because we already have all the knowledge and information. And it's like we know how to take people through like low back pain and deadlift progressions and get them back to doing all those things. And so because we have the knowledge, we don't necessarily feel like, hey, it's that important or valuable. But here's the thing, it's like everybody who comes in, they don't have the knowledge that we have. And so it's like you can't devalue it to like your perception of what your skill set is worth, because all these people, they've been like seeking and something that they haven't been able to get and do for so long that like they are willing to pay for it. Right. So it's really just perception of value. And I think like 1,000% for us as physios, clinicians, like our own mindset gets in the way of us being able to like increase our prices, serve more people, provide more value. So don't get in your own way.
Oh man, we just went off a little bit on pricing, but I hope by the time that you listen to this episode, you feel a little bit fired up and you realize that like you can increase your rates. And in my head, it's like how I kind of troubleshoot whether or not something is possible is just trying to see if there's examples of what I'm trying to do in the world. And there's a ton of examples of physical therapists that are probably charging way more than you. And honestly, when you compare your skill set to theirs, they're probably more skilled. I mean, you're probably more skilled than them. They just have more confidence and conviction. And those are all things that you can train and develop over time. So hopefully this inspires you to increase your rates. And remember that when people pay, they pay attention, right? And like if they do that, you're going to get better outcomes. If they get better outcomes, you have a better business. It's all up. I think oftentimes we can easily make this like scenario in our head where like you're doing people a disservice. But what if increasing your rates actually makes everything better?
100%. And I know there's probably going to be people out there listening. It's like, well, raising my rates won't work in my area. I'm in a super rural area. Like nobody around here is going to pay that. It's like, dude, we have so many people in our Go Getters group that are from freaking middle nowhere Nebraska, middle nowhere Ohio, and like, dude, like these people are just fucking savages and killers, and like yeah, like maybe everyone else around them is charging super low. Well, they're charging like an actual appropriate rate for physical therapy, and like people are actually willing to pay that, right? So again, just don't get in your own way, man. And again, like worst case scenario is like, dude, you increase your price, like maybe people don't buy. Great, like you just go back down to where you're currently at. So your worst case scenario is currently where you're already doing. So all you have is fucking upside. If that makes sense.
I love it. I love it. All right, squad. Listen, if you want to attend GGC Live, we still got a few spots left. Just message us on at Go Getters Coaching on Instagram. DM us live, and we'll get you the sign up link. We're at 32 5-star reviews, guys. Come on, we're lacking in that department. Let's just like we're trying to help you increase your rates. I hope you can help us increase our reviews. Appreciate y'all.
No.
Appreciate y'all. I didn't have to transition in the beginning, but I had it at the end. Let's get it.
Let's go.